Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rick and Tony at Netradiodogs.com, and we are live tonight with Mr. Randy King. Randy, are you with us, brother?
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great. Tony, are you alive?
I'm here. Nice to meet you, Randy.
Come on, Tony.
He's better than me, man. Now, Randy has he's a performance artist. I guess we should say that first of all. He's a rather unusual performance artist, but he is doing so well with this that we really found him to be probably one of the most interesting performance artists that we've met so far. But Randy, a lot. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody just what you do, and then we'll go into some questions from there.
Well, as a performance artist, my original genre, of course, is mime, which I started doing years ago. But right now, I'm working as living statues and robotic statues at the Island in Pigeon Forge.
The Island Resort in Pigeon Forge. Yeah. Now, first time I think I saw you down there, I really couldn't believe what I was seeing, first of all, because the only other guy I had seen do that was on the streets of New York City. And this guy was great, and I was just shocked. But I'll kind of tell my own little story here. The first time I saw you, I'm thinking there was probably about anywhere from 75 to 100 people standing and just in wonderment of what you were doing and how in the world were you doing it. That was the big thing with everybody. They were just shocked about, how you were able to stand there for so long and look as good as you did. It looked like it was made out of granite, Tony, I guess would be the only thing I could say. But just incredible talent, because, there's no way I could do that, that's for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very talented in what you do, but you also have a bigger story to tell. How exactly did you start going into mime and things of that nature? What got you started that way?
Well, I'm originally from Alabama, and I was in a church in Alabama for several years, and I just felt like that there was something that I was supposed to be doing as far as ministry-wise.
Right.
And of course, I can do public speaking, but it just wasn't where my heart was, So I was just really trying to figure out what it was I was supposed to be doing. I'm a percussionist. I sing. I do lots of things, but nothing just really grabbed me. And then there was a guy that came and visited our church named Eric Sansom out of Florida, and he did street evangelism, and he used mime and performance storytelling as what he was doing. So I went and saw him, and it was just like something came alive in me, and I was like, I can do this. This is something I can do. So I went to my pastor and I said, I think this is something I want to do. I really want to start pursuing this. And he said, okay. He said, well, when you come up with something, just let me know. And I said, okay. So I, kind of sat down and got the creative juices flowing. And I came up with one piece. It was about 3 minutes long. Right. And I went to him and I said, okay, I got something. He goes, great, you got the service next week, which meant I had 45 minutes to fill. So
no.
Trial by fire, but it was good. And I enjoyed it.
No pressure.
That's right.
Well, I see you pull about, a couple hours at a time out there at the island, and I was just shocked. I was like, there again, it's the time thing. I just cannot fathom how you are able to do what you do for that long period of time. But,
right now I'm working 4 hours there. Work from 6 to 10 p.m. on the weekends. And there, though, they ask that I move about every 30 minutes because, like you said, it tends to draw a crowd. And when you draw a crowd, you start blocking walkways and stuff. And so they ask that I kind of change, move every 30 minutes. But in the past, I would actually be in one location for 4 hours straight, just there, not moving. But there's a little bit easier because I move every 30 minutes, so it's nothing to me,
Yeah, probably a lot easier. Now, how many characters do you have? I know of like 4, maybe 5 that I've seen, and they're just phenomenal. I mean, it's almost it has a shock factor a little bit, not in a bad way, but in a good way. And when people tend to see that, you get their attention. There's no way around it. And so, how many of those do you have that you put together so far?
Right now, I've got 8 different characters that I do.
Oh.
So
you can rotate those guys in and out, however,
right,
to keep it fresh.
Right, and that's one thing I like about the island is they allow me to do that. They allow me to be creative. It's like I just came up with a new one. Actually, I just came up with a 9th one I forgot about. I just started doing like a scarecrow type character for the island for the fall season, and they have given me the freedom. They trust me, and so they've given me the freedom that when I get inspired to do something like I did with this scarecrow character, they know it's going to be okay, and I know they're not going to have a problem with it, and so I can create it and go and have a good time and be comfortable while I'm doing it instead of worrying about, will they approve, will they disapprove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're seen by all ages. I mean, smaller kids, everybody. I've never seen somebody do something like this that the smaller kids are just like drawn to you, and they just want to touch you or see if you move.
Well, yeah, but not all of them are drawn to me. Some of them are still scared of me, and I try not to scare them too much. My rule of thumb is if there's a child there, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to scare. But now when they get to be teenagers and above, everything's off. I'm going to move. I'm going to scare. That's the most fun part when I'm doing just a statue that never moves until I want to scare somebody, and that's when it gets funny. I mean, we used to have a rule. We used to have a rule with security there that it wasn't a successful night unless we made one woman pee in her pants. So. Oh
man, to only have been there that night, man! I'm telling you what.
We used to do it. I mean, we used to do it all the time. It was like.
Well, I'm going to say this, what I've seen of it, it's just incredible, and I was just shocked when I first saw it, and I think, actually, and you can, correct me on this, Randy, but I think the first night that I saw you, I had a business card in my pocket, and I remember putting it in your little tip jar that was down there, and that was a few months ago. And you kind of
and I called
me.
And I called you, and I messaged you, and never heard back.
Because Tony keeps me so busy.
Oh, I think it's the other way around.
Yeah. Watch out, Tony. That nose is going to put your eye out. Watch out.
Yeah, really. No, we stay very, very busy, and it. Here's my thing. Okay, here's the only way I can remember who I meet, and if it's somebody that we need to do an interview with or whatever, I have to put them in my phone immediately because I get so many phone calls during the day that sometimes if I don't know the number and somebody catches me off guard, I'm like, do I answer it or do I not? Because you're not real sure who it is. But thankfully, I have put you in my phone now.
Listen to how important I am.
You are very important. Believe me.
Yada yada yada.
Tony lives on a farm. He lives in up in the hills of Virginia. There, he has some cattle around, and I think maybe that scarecrow character may come in kind of handy for him. It's just either that or to run the neighbors off. One of the two. But. How did you start, and where did you start after the first initial thing that you did with in your church? Where did you go from there?
Well, of course, I did several times in the church, and from there it kind of spread out. There were other churches invited us.
Right.
Did throughout the Southeast. Did a lot of open air concerts and conventions in the Southeast, in Georgia and Mississippi. From there, then I ended up moving to Knoxville back in the 80s. And here, of course, I expanded out with using a lot of the youth from the church that I was a part of, or I am a part of still, here.
Right.
And from there, I was invited to be a featured performer at the World's Fair in Seville, Spain. So I got to go to Seville, Spain, and perform there. From there, I went to Bordeaux, France, did some teaching and performance in Bordeaux. The next year, I got to go to a smaller place in France called Mime4Him and did some teaching there and performance there. After that, in 1993, the first time I went to Russia, to a city there called Ivanovo, which is about 150 miles northeast of Moscow. And I went there every summer from 1993 till 2000. In 2000, I moved there full-time to work with the church that we had started back in the end of 92, beginning of 93. And we lived there for 11 years and went and I performed in Finland, went down into Bulgaria, but mainly just throughout the western side of Russia. A lot of cities there, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Yekaterinburg. There's so many. There's so many in that area. And moved back here in 2000, and I was actually performing down on Market Square. I just do it from time to time. As I told you, I had a real job, 40 hours a week, but as just for fun, for a hobby, I would go down to Market Square and do some performing. And actually one day I came home and, of course, still put out a tip jar. And in my tips, there was this business card, and it said, call me. I have an offer for you. And it was one of the gentlemen from the island. And
wow.
So I called him just to see, hey, what's up kind of thing. And he offered me the job at the island, and I had the choice. I can go to Market Square and, just maybe get some money, maybe not. It's just up to the tippers, or I can go there and actually work. And
right.
So I talked with them, made an offer to them. They accepted my offer, and I started working there. And I'm just going to tell you the whole story here.
Sure, go ahead.
Then from the first night that I was actually working there, we had an agreement, that it wouldn't be any tips. It would just be me working as a statue, which was fine with me, because they actually were going to be paying me to work there. And people, the first night, people started stuffing money in my clothes. And I was like walking around the island with all this money inside my shirt. I looked like I was overweight or something, And I called the guy in his hand and said, this isn't going to work because people are wanting to tip me. We need to do something, And he goes, let me check. And so the next night I show up, and they're not only stuffing money in my clothes, but they're throwing it at my feet.
My God.
And he's like, yeah, we got to do something. You need to put out a tip bucket. So now I keep the tip bucket out there, and it's not that I make people tip me. That's just if they want to. I'm going to still perform for them whether they tip me or not. I treat everybody the same.
Sure.
But we realize the fact that there are people that, want to tip, and so that's why the tip bucket is out there. So.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people that want to have their picture made with you, and I think it's very good of those people to walk up and say, here's some money for, we really appreciate what you're doing before they, get a picture made with you. I think there's quite a different crowd there. I think it's more of a family-oriented crowd at the island, and which is good. But it being like a resort kind of setting, a lot of people, people don't leave. They stay there at the Margaritaville Hotel.
Right.
All these restaurants and games and stuff to do, and they got you. There's a ton of different entertainment there. So I think that was probably a good move for you. That'd be the greatest place to work for that type of job, I can tell you that. Yeah.
It is, and plus the fact that just the staff there are so supportive of everything I do. It's like right. I just can't sing their praises enough. Honestly, they take care of me at every turn. They worry about me if something goes wrong, because sometimes there are some people that things go wrong, and
sure.
But they're supportive. They encourage me. They've got my back, and it's so nice to work doing something because now that's my job. I don't have another job. That is my job. And I work there. I feel supported. I'm doing something I absolutely love that's just a part of me. And I've got people that allow me to be expressive and to do what I love to do and don't try to say, that's okay, but you can only do it this way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They allow me to be creative, which I appreciate so much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people that listen to us and have maybe seen our live interviews also, hear me screaming all the time about, that's why I left the radio business, blah, blah, blah. But it was just because people were trying to tell me everything, every step to take, every move to make, and, there was something else there to do, and I just wasn't being allowed to do it. So I can fully understand what you're saying. Yeah,
it's so important to be, for an artist, for anybody, but especially for an artist, it's so important to be able to do what you want to do, that when your imagination, when your muse or whatever else you want to call it strikes, you're like, I can do that. I don't have to get permission to do that. Right. I was just in Barcelona, Spain, and went to the street there called La Rambla, where they have the living statues. And I went specifically to see one that I actually got to see and talk with. Found out there that even though it's like world famous as being the street for living statues, it's very heavily regulated. They can only do one character. They have to have permission from the government to do that character. They have to have a license to do that character. And if they want to change that character, it takes 3 to 6 months for them to get approval to do a second character. And I was like, this is crazy. How can you be creative when you've got that, that many regulations on you?
You really can't. I mean, and I guess it's the same thing with the FCC with radio. Basically the same thing. They want you to do, what's in their little box, and that's fine. I mean, we're not here to do anything indecent, but we do like to have fun in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so there's things you have to watch out doing, and so on and so forth. Now, we snagged a few pictures of you that we're going to put up during the podcast interview, so everybody's going to be able to see who this guy is when they come out to the island in Pigeon Forge. But,
they're going to see they're not going to see what I look like. If you got pictures from the island.
Well, hopefully they'll see you with the makeup on.
I actually went to the island one time. Well, several times, but I went one time in particular, and nobody there had ever seen me out of makeup. Never.
Oh, wow.
So I was like going in all the stores and stuff, and I remember going up to the information booth, and there was a guy there, and I was like talking to him, and didn't really say anything. And I left, and I came back, and I was like, look at him, and I said, where's the guy that does the living statues?
Mm-hmm.
He says, I don't know. He said, I hadn't seen him today. He said, but he's usually around. He says, I haven't seen him today. And I looked at him, I said, yes, you have.
You're looking at him.
He was like, what do you mean? And I said, you've already seen him today. And I'm just like, so serious. And I saw it dawn on him, He was like, I could see all the pieces fitting into place, And he was like, it's you, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's me. It's just fun. It's fun.
Now, Tony, have you ever been down to the island yet? Have you been down that way?
No, I haven't. I've been writing down questions the whole time. I didn't want to walk on you there, but
no, go right ahead.
He's got some. There's some really good stuff here, and this is the first time that I've met Randy, and I have just looking at his Facebook page right now while we're talking, and one of the things I noticed is that, man, you have to have a lot of initiative to be able to go out there and do that. And I bet there was a time when it was very, very hard to hold that pose and do all that work. So
this course I really conceded, but no, it never was.
Wow.
It never was. I fell into place. It was like I knew what it's just this thing of to see it in my mind. I know what I'm going to do, and then I hate to use the word for people. I was like, but it's the discipline. It's the thing of I know what I want to do, and gosh darn, I'm going to do it. No matter if it kills me, I'm going to do it. And just
right.
I do it. There are times still now at the island where I'm standing there. One of my characters is holding an umbrella, if you see the picture, and I can hold that umbrella, and sometimes my arm just literally goes to sleep because it's been in the position so long, and I'm fighting it, you know. And I could say, oh well, it's you know, it's going to sleep. I need to move it, but I know it's not time to move. And my whole thing is these people that are around want to see quality, and they want to see the best that I can do. I'm not going to shortchange them, you know. And it's just it's the discipline in me. It's the thing in me that says I'm going to do it no matter what. There was a time I was doing like a robotic character. This is years ago back in Alabama. And I was doing a robotic character in a park there, and this dog came out of nowhere, barking and just attacking, coming straight for my leg, you know. And in my head, I'm going, "Do I break character? What am I going to do?" You know? And I see it was one of those little dogs, which I hate anyway. But anyway, he's coming at me, you know. And just before he gets to my leg, of course, he stopped, you know, and just keeps barking. But I never broke character. I just kept walking. This guy came up to me, and he goes, "Now that's a professional." He said, "I would have turned him and kicked that dog as far as I could." He said, "But you just kept going."
Oh, my God.
But I'm thinking, yeah, you just don't know, my heart's racing right now because I could just see my leg being mangled by this little thing, you know. Never let them see you sweat, you know, that whole thing.
That's great.
That's it.
Do you ever have kids that come up, you know, and test you? Because I know my kids would have done that when they were little. They would have been punching on you and stuff, you know.
Well, yeah. You know, there's one thing, you know, but I expect it. I expect little kids to come up. They'll you know, push my leg or tap my arm, or sometimes parents they'll touch my face or something. I expect that. There's always going to be some touching, you know, and that's okay. Kids naturally will touch. The problem I have is when the adults start doing it, you know, and you know, and
that's not good.
That's led to a couple of problems, but for the most part, I mean, I've been there for 2 years now, and I think there's only been 3 times when it really just kind of got out of hand, and they were usually a little bit inebriated, but you know, it's people ask, you know, people all the time are coming up, like when I do the statues and I don't blink. People always come up challenging me, thinking they're going to get me to blink, or they do the staring contest. You know, I'm not going to blink before you do. And they always, the whole thing with me is this whole thing is like a big game to me. You know, when they come up and they go, "Okay, let's see who blinks first." I'm like I just said, I'll die before I blink. You know, you're not going to get me to blink, and I won't. You know.
Oh man. I've been up there a couple of times, man. I've seen some guys walk up to you that were just, like you were saying, we'll be nice and say inebriated.
Yeah.
And and I'll tell you what, that gave me a ton of respect for you, because you handle them great, and you know, it's just amazing to me. And like I said, that's the reason I put the card in there, man. I was like, I cannot believe that a human being can do this.
Well,
and
funny, I mean,
all these problems. I mean, you've got kids, you've got, you know, inebriated people, you've got, and you just handle it like a champ. I mean,
it's just, like I said, it's to me, it's discipline. I'm not going to do anything that's going to bring, you know, bad press to the island. I'm not. I'm going to take care of these guys. You know, at the same time, I realize, because my, you know, website and all that is up there for people to see. People understand I'm a Christian just by my website, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to, you know, that a Christian should not do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've got both those things going for me, and people can challenge me all day long. I know who I am. You know, I mean, it's like there was one guy one time that was trying to stare me down, and he, as we said, was inebriated. And he kept blinking, but he didn't realize he was even blinking. He's like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, you're just blinking. You're blinking, I'm not, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of the things I say to people while they're standing there, you know, is I'm talking to them the whole time in my head, but I don't say it out loud.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What's your, you know, give us your web address so people can go in and check you out, and make sure everybody knows what your Facebook page is, so they can go on there and like that.
Well, pretty much everything I've got is under the same name, and that's Mime4Him. That's MIME, the number 4, and HIM. So that's That's my web page. That's how to find me on Facebook. That's my email address. Everything's under mine. That's my Twitter. Everything is Mime4Him. And I've had that since the very beginning. That's what I picked out in the very beginning, and I never changed it. So
how many years are we talking about, Randy? How long have you been doing this?
No, 37 years now.
Wow. Holy crap.
Well, the funny thing is, people ask me that all the time. They go, how long have you been doing this? And I'll say 37 years. They go, what, did you start when you were 7?
Yeah, because you really don't, you didn't, come at me like a gentleman that had been doing anything for 37 years, actually. You're very energetic. You're very...
thanks a lot. You're saying I've been a bum for 37 years. You said I didn't do anything for 37 years.
You're very positive.
Uh-huh.
You're just hey, if anybody does get a chance to talk to him while you're at the island in Pigeon Forge, you need to, because Randy's a great guy. He's not just a good performer, he's a great person. And that's one of the things that attracted, Tony and I to interviewing you. It's just the sheer, I don't know, it's almost like a joy that you have, first of all, for what you're doing. And second of all, I guess it's just the reason why you're doing it. And, we have to give you kudos for that, man, because you're doing a great thing in this world. And sounds to me like you've been all over wherever you needed to be at the time you needed to be. And thank goodness you're here at the island, and and we got a ton of listeners that go down there. People talk to me all the time about going down there and how beautiful it is and what a great atmosphere it is. And
I always tell people, if you're ever at the island, come over and say hi. I won't say anything back, but hey, come over and say hi.
That's right.
I can't wait.
Say anything. Hey, I don't talk.
I can't wait to go meet you. I think it's going to be
make sure you're around the fountains at 9 o'clock, because at 9 o'clock there's always the dance. At 9 o'clock every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So.
Sounds good. Sounds like people that are listening to us right now are probably making their own little schedule at this point to get down there and see you. But Randy, I tell you what, buddy, we have been honored to have you tonight, and there will be more with Randy in the future, and that's all I'm going to say for right now. I'm not going to give up this big secret, but everybody will know. So, Tony, do you have anything else for Randy tonight?
No, we just appreciate it. I can't wait to go see you, Randy. So
yeah, it's quite a thing to see. Let me tell you that. Well, Randy, we appreciate you very, very much, and I have to say this: my little grandson just thinks Randy's the coolest guy in the world. He's like, "Wow, how does he do that?"
See, I get to see that part that the parents don't get to see when those kids come up to me, and when I do the statues that are like robots, and I bend over to shake their hand, I get to see that look on their face. They've got their backs to parents, and that look of just amazement on their face is just wonderful to me. Like, this is why I do this. This is why I do this.
Well, I mean, if people want to see some good family entertainment, man, this is where they need to go and check out what you do.
The kids, when the kids get home and their parents are out of the room, they're going to be acting like Randy.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Whenever little kids always come to me, they go, how do you do that? How do you stand so still? I always look at them. I say, I paid attention when I was little, and my mom told me to be quiet and stand still. And they look at me like, really? And the parents are like, he's like, do it.
Maybe I need to leave my grandson with you for a while, so maybe you can teach him that, because that don't happen. It's like when they get 8 years old, they do whatever, Well, man, I tell you what, we've had a ball with you, and like I said, we need to look for Randy in the future some more with Netradiodogs, and we appreciate you so much, Tony.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, this has been great. We've had a ball with you, but I can't wait for Tony to get to go down and just see you face to face. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah, just make sure you come up, Tony, and say, I'm Tony. Don't just go and say, hey, I know who you are.
Well, what's going to happen is the sun will get blocked out. That's what's going to happen, Randy.
Please. You know how hot
Tony,
it is in that makeup in the sun?
yeah, Tony's like, what are you, about 6'5", Tony?
Something like it.
I call him the gentle giant, man, because he's a great guy too. So, but anyway,
I'm coming in full makeup too. You'll know who I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. We ain't
He's
going
riding in
there.
his own car that day. Oh man. No, I'm telling you, that would be something to see, no doubt about it.
It's going to happen.
Well, Randy, thank you, brother, and Tony, thank you, sir, and thank you everybody for listening. Hey, it's Rick Dollar, Tony Dean, and Mr. Randy King for Netradiodogs.com.